The first witch up to bat, the one that hit the boom bap, the one that's always made you clap with the magic from my hat, feathers in my cap, headdress, native empress, temptress. Don't touch if you're tempted, corona means crown. I've always had that. Brujas exist now, cause I paved the pavement, carrying the name witch as an invitation for decolonization, a feminist statement to destroy the inclination of degradation. I'm a First Nation representative. You may be tentative, but I can help you manifest the life that you were meant to live, get you expressive. Hosted open mics since before my adolescence. No question, connected to the pulse of Mother Nature. Embrace her and your inner shaman, integrated darkness, illuminated chakras, my influencer virus inspired an entire league of titans with sight beyond sight, black, brown, red, yellow, white, thundercats of the light, underdog from the Bronx. You don't want to see me bite, you don't want to see me fight. Southpaw with the right, lockjaw, hit hard with all of my might. Ayo, KO, and out go the lights. Champion of prize fights, the queen of Nuyoricans, bilingual Spanglish speaking, last of the Mohicans, last of the Puerto Ricans, Mohegans, sunflower of all the Boricuas, Tainos, Orishas, salsa in my hip hop. Put the heat in what's hot. Put the she in sheriff, not the one that got shot. But the deputy is cool with me. He knows I get down. Ask around, I'm from the underground. Legend of the boogie down. Sleep on me, that's hollow. I'm a hard act to follow. Nokia's role model. Genie out the bottle. Tonight I'm howling from the barrio. Kicking turtles like I'm Mario. Mushrooms got me hidey ho. Hustle like a grimy hoe. Here we go. What Bruja about to do? Mind your P's and Q's. It's my party, don't come if I ain't invited you. Cause you throw too many peanuts like I'm in the Bronx Zoo. Moby Dick, harpoons, National Lampoon. Look at you, I laugh anyway. I love cartoons. Make your face red like the back of baboons. Losh, move, mad clues. We ain't got nothing to prove. It's an oxymoron because, yeah, I am the one, but at the same time, I'm not the one to be fucked with, to be tested, to become an incorrect way. I perfected meditations with Tibetans in recesses of Mount Everest. So if I have to settle this, I'll pedal to the metal this. I might become a heretic, a lunatic, an evil witch. Teach you how to treat a bitch. Sit beneath my feet a bit, beside those other piece of shits. New day, I'm seasoning it. You know Puerto Ricans and how we love to season it. Leave it sazonando in the seasoning, rhyming, reasoning. Cause the only beef we're dealing with is cut with cleaver hits. On some leave it to beaver shit. Believe it to the beeve, not to know when to leave the shit alone. You acting savage just to bleed, but I'm a vampiro. What's a habit? That's a need. And yeah, she's gotta have it. Best believe the best of me doesn't ever panic, just to pull yarn out of the hole of the moral fabric. Abracadabra, that which is so shamanic, healing herbs planted, chanting mantras in the garden, farming on another planet, half alien Martian, flying on the mothership, flow fouler than vomit, poke holes in you like grommets, strip you like varnish, shine like a new penny. Rhyme like your school buddies, straighten jackets like I'm nutty, sillier than silly putty. I make you laugh even if it isn't funny. Hold your tummy, my gummy berry juice is so yummy. Sentimental big pun, Marvin Gaye's Sonny. You love to see me coming unless you've been acting funny. Then I'm the road runner dropping bombs on these coyotes. But I told you in the 90s, you better run from me. Hello, I am La Bruja, and this is Digital Verse, the first installment of a collaboration between two New York City institutions, the Nuyorican Poets Cafe and the Greene Space. For the next half hour, you're going to be seeing some spoken word big heavies, and you're also going to be seeing some up-and-coming poets that are just crashing onto the New York City scene. All these clips were filmed throughout New York City because of social distancing, and I'm here in the Boogie Down Bronx in my space El Garaje, and it's just an honor to be able to host this because I've been hosting open mics for 2 decades now, and I started at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe in 1996. Poetry and spoken word is my life, so let's get into it. Our first poet is Toni Ann DeNoble. She is a poet, an actor, and a writer, and she won for her monologue, Eulogy for Cookie, at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe Short Play Festival. You may have seen her at La Mama and countless venues in New York City. Check out this poem, Just Checking In, Toni Ann DeNoble.
Hey, hope you're okay. I'm doing fine. Although I could go on about a thing or two in these uncertain times. It's real stuff we're dealing with in these uncertain times. Worrying about delivering my baby in a hospital or at home, a whole global pandemic, but here it's the worst. But I'm fine, I'm good. Are you doing okay? In these uncertain times, it's hard to say. Racial division, but so many new people on board. It didn't take long before some went back to their norm. Well, family and friends, racist posts, Facebook triggers and Twitter fingers, they're so dense it can hurt. And I'm fine, yeah, I'm okay. And how are you? In these uncertain times, I hope you're staying safe. Although I could go on about this quarantine that is still happening. Even if you believe COVID is a hoax or a plan, people are dying or getting very sick or lying to avoid a forced quarantine so they can work. Yeah, the economy. I knew you'd get it. Do you still have a job that pays you the same wage? Is your health care gone? Mine is. Well, it was stripped with an option to find another that will cost more than anyone out of work could afford. So, why bother? I'm fine, I'm good. Women have given birth through far worse. In a field, getting whipped, getting told, get to work. Then their baby gets taken away to help the economy. Or the woman is left to die because when the pain was too much, no one really cared, because if she can endure all that she claims, is she really in pain? So, I'm great. No, I'm just good. It's that the mortality part is still happening now, so these uncertain times feel certain sometimes. And your silent response feels not like a friend, and we really don't know when this all will end. What's uncertain for you may be certain for me, but you don't know. You don't vote, or maybe you will. You're not yet sure for who, but you can't really stand to hear anything that sounds not nice. So I'm staying safe, I'm staying sane in these certainly uncertain times. I want you to know that I do understand that you are also protecting your life as a proud, quiet U.S. citizen, as you willingly bow down to a man that doesn't speak in complete sentences, does nothing that regards the heart of humans, and you follow him like a dog. And the cronies pound their chests and scowl their face, declaring war on anyone who opposes the way things are. But me? Yeah, I'm fine. No, I'm doing well. Hope everything's good with you. Stay sane. Stay well. Because people we know are yelling about getting their guns and being ready to take aim and protect their own, which doesn't have to be much, but ready to take a life. Almost excited and pumped. But I'm cool. I'm pumped up too. Got a baby on the way. Building life. Living life. Yeah, I moved, by the way. Things are great. Things are cool. In these trying times, I might go for a walk or maybe a drive or go to the store for a snack I'm craving, sit in the park, or just nap in my bed. If I get killed while doing any of those things, the killer will most likely go free. Did you know I have to think about this regularly? So nap. Go to the park, run to the store, go for a jog, drive in your car, light a cigarette as the officer rips off your little ticket, and drive on home to your regular life and fight with your spouse loud so the neighbors know exactly what you're talking about. The cops won't get called unless you want them to. You won't get hunted and killed. You won't get hunted and killed. You won't get hunted and killed. You won't get judged from afar, harassed, then murdered, hung, shot, casually snuffed out for a crowd to see. Then the killers go home comfortably and wake up and do it all again with impunity, qualified immunity. I'm sure you've heard this said before, but maybe you don't understand, but that right there is called privilege. You float through life just one day at a time. Certain times for you are uncertain for me. La-da-dee, la-da-da, la-da-dee-dee-dee. You don't want to see what I mean, because you know me, I know you, so I should know it's not you too. It's not you to get upset about injustice or death. It's not me to get upset and say I feel oppressed. I'm only half, and since when? You know me, I know you. Why can't we just focus on that I love you? But what about when you say things that reveal a deep stupidity, a bigotry, hypocrisy, and I don't let that be? I can't tell you, but you can tell me? Oh yeah. I can't, but you can. I can't, but you can. You can't see the inequality. Even as it spills at your feet, it's at your front door. Quarantine, pandemic, unrest in the streets. The post office is one way to gradually take our rights. Our people are dying, but that's not you. So I get it. I just should be quiet. I feel like I'm just sitting here watching people get taken out, knowing the louder I get, the more important it is for me to be silenced. I should fill the spaces in your country as the laws are presented. So I'm cool. Yeah, I'm fine. Things are pretty certain. Been that way for a long time. I mean, I could say one thing about the fact that voting is being described as life or death. At the same time, our post office is under duress. Our country is in the midst of an incredible crisis. That fascism is creeping in step by step, and the feeble minded have been a target all along and are backing a horse's ass. And that includes you, because you choose silence as if you're deaf and dumb. Doesn't matter if you have possession of those senses, you don't use them. Wearing a mask for 6 months seems to not be a clue that we're being driven into a ditch by you know who. So yeah, I'm fine, I'm cool, staying home, yada yada, how are you? Baby's good, man is good, everything's good, good, good. Just remember, if they kill me, it wasn't suicide. Remember, if I get killed, it wasn't suicide. You can brush it off, say I exaggerate, and yeah, that's fine. In truth, I'm tired of talking about it too. But just remember, if they kill me, it wasn't suicide. So stay safe, stay sane in these uncertain times.
And that was Tony Andonoble with Just Checking In. Our next poet is one of my personal favorites because he's my homie, Advocate of Words, who also hosts the open mics on Monday night at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. Advocate of Words is a poet, a writer, a teaching artist, a dad. He won the Brio Award and the Taino Image Award. You may have seen him on PBS, BET, Univision. He's tremendous. Check him out, Advocate of Words.
Back in 2011, scientists found 17 pyramids in over 3,000 Egyptian settlements that were previously unknown to us, buried hundreds of feet below the surface. The infrared camera they used to find these settlements was in space, 400 miles above Earth. That's what this poem is based on. Man was born out of Eve's womb, and she is a descendant of clay. Or is it Lilith? Or is it Adam's ribcage? She just may be a great-grandchild of fish. The sun revolved around us until the solar system showed that we were one of 8 planets that toured the famous star. No offense, Pluto, and no offense, Snuffleupagus planet Nibiru. Earth turned out to be as flat as a sphere. Columbus discovered an old continent with human inhabitants who centuries before crossed over an icy barren strait. That's if they are not the lost tribes of Israel. The Aztecs and Africans built the pyramids after ancient aliens had designed them. It's all a mirage of confusion. We've hardly scratched the surface of the human genome. So where does our arrogance get off assuming we see the whole picture when so many pieces of the puzzle are hidden and fresh to our comprehension? It took us a 400-mile step back to see 17 pyramids and over 3,000 settlements previously unknown buried under Egyptian sand. We are still finding ourselves. Who knows about all that is in the Vatican vaults, or what is on the dark side of the moon, or why Greece won't allow scientists to study their coast, where we found pottery, tools, and weapons that fit into no era or culture as our knowledge of history has documented. Or how informative it would be to excavate a pyramid in Illinois, or when we all individually come to that moment, that proverbial instance of the all-knowing, with all questions ever to be answered? Or must it make transcending this existence to do so? We still have so much that we do not know. So whether it was the weather of the great rains, or the big boom with tides, or volcanic ash, or frozen ice meteors that gave our planet water, one conspiracy is no theory. It is a fact. A content arrogance stalemates growth and intelligence. We still have so much more to find. more aware. The next time I stop digging deeper, I'll have 17 pyramids and over 3,000 settlement reasons to keep exploring myself. Conveniently, searching out your inner self doesn't require a 400-mile step back. Only one immeasurable move. You still have so much more of yourself to see and unshovel.
And that was Advocate of Words. If you would like to perform on the open mic on Monday nights, Advocate of Word hosts them. Just visit Nuyorican.org for all that information. And if you would like to be featured, you could submit your work at the Greene Space's bi-weekly showcase, Still Live from NYC. Just visit bit.ly/stilllive in NYC to submit your work. Now, let's go to Jive Poetic. Another personal favorite of mine, because he's my homie too. He's the one that hosts the Nuyorican Poets Cafe Friday night slams. He's a teacher, he's an activist. He teaches hip hop to inner city youth. He's been seen on PBS and BET, and he has his own showcase called Stimulive. Ladies and gentlemen, Jive Poetic.
Rolling ocean. Crashed between her toes, sand built the coastline she tight-roped yesterday to her back. Facing tomorrow with the Panamanian sun set in the most black of her mouth, full of clumsy English, rickety on her Spanish tongue, shuffling Caribbean accent marks inconspicuously she blended in Jamaica, where Cuba gave her the sun she spoke clumsy to. In Canada, West Indian camouflaged her Panama, invisible mistress of the skies, toggling West Indian syntax, translucent at the border, in full masquerade. My grandmothers were dream catchers. Hopscotching countries, jumping identity double Dutch, watching greener shades of brown grass darken every time she landed behind the language barrier she clutched. Yesterday's tongue under today's image, exercising her phonetics to flip acrobatic English easier for her. Foreign tongue was Spanish in Jamaica, Jamaican in Canada, Canadian in New York, reaching for citizenship, red taped out of range with immigration on her heels until her last breath evaporated above Los Angeles. As black as planned, her maple leaf colored children sifted, accent free, obscured behind Jamaica. Panama was blindfolded, monolingual. My tongue now rolls as rickety as her English did 3 countries before, 1 cold shoulder ago. Latin America recognized me no more than Jamaica did. Called me American boy under breath, over unbroken speech patterns lost in translation. I felt invisible, while visibly in neither command of enough Spanish nor patois to correct the secrets hiding her inside me, undetectable. Even in death, she lives around the border of my eye, while I, tongues away from the language she learned to speak in New York, of my voice 2 generations away, and I'm in the dark of this dance hall. Multiple Spanish reggae tones mocking the star-spangled portion of my red, black, and green footwork falling off of every drumbeat chuckled at me. This collage of a woman tilted between her locks and patois flowing from Latin roots. When she smiled me still. When she spoke me speechless, and somehow made me homesick for a place I had never been.
And that was Jive Poetic. If you're loving what you're seeing and are able to make a contribution during these times, donations are what keep establishments like the Nuyorican Poets Cafe and the Greene Space thriving and bringing you this type of content. We've made it easy to donate. If you'd like to make a donation to the Greene Space, just text the word LIVE to the numbers 70101. And we'll text you right back with a form to fill out so that you can make your donation. And if you'd like to donate to the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, just visit www.nuyorican.org/contribute. Up next, we have Ramya Ramana, selected as the New York City's Youth Poet Laureate. She's a teaching artist, she's a writer, she's a singer, she's a performer. You may have seen her in over 200 venues in New York City, and her work has been featured in the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, and Brown Girl magazine. This poem is called Survival Poem. Check it out, Ramya Ramana.
Survival is not a fingerprint. It is not the blueprint or the river you come to in the mornings. It is not your home or a place to get rooted or how you pray. It is sometimes access, sometimes repetitive functioning, the easier land to swim to. I've known of survival as my default. I know when I would lie to the breath in its unwillingness to last. I gave myself awards for outwitting endurance, thought my mansion in heaven would be a bit bigger if I suffered, thought suffering was a part of the trophy of finding land, thought it was too selfish to dispossess the rubble or choose the sweetened, more finished road, thought it was a sin to lean on the tree's extension of life, the fruit beckoning into the world. Thought if I ate, I needed to build my own tree from the brown of my own hands, from the root of my own back. And if I stretched all of me for everything, then I could, like elastic, become a bigger version of myself, a worthier story my body could live from. But the truth is that all trees are planted by someone, and if not someone, then waves of a deteriorating fruit, and if not the waves, then an animal, and if not an animal, then always the creator of that animal. And isn't that the original sign that it is okay to need? To need is not a sin. To name your need is not a blasphemy, but instead how you hold your humanity, your livelihood. So what does it mean to build a world that's existential question is not survival, but purpose? Wouldn't that mean I need you like the fruit needed the person, or the wind, or the animal? Wouldn't that mean that love is a human right? That radical love is the foundational truth to our existence? Wouldn't that mean that I can't run away from my running away? Wouldn't that mean that my hands begin when they surrender, when they fall facing up, fasting from the need to move, and say, take this cup, I trust you'll make it run over.
And that was Ramya Ramana. Next up, we have Kevin Powell, a poet, a journalist, a human rights activist, has authored over 14 books. Here, he's going to be performing a piece from his newest book, When We Free the World. This piece is called We Them People. Kevin Powell.
Dream on, dreamer, the way Alvin Ailey and Maya Angelou and George Floyd and Breonna Taylor dreamed of southern-baked pilgrims dancing and slow-marching their sorrows down the yellow brick roads of second line members humming from the heels of their dirt-kissed feet. I want to be ready to put on my long white robe. We are survivors, we are survivors, we are survivors of people who were free and became slaves, of people who were slaves and became free. We know why the caged bird sings. We know what a redemption song brings. We them people, we the people, we are those people who shall never forget. Our ancestors all up in us as we sleep, our grandmother all up in us as we weep, because we are Native American, Black, Irish, Welsh, French, German, Polish, Italian, Jewish, Puerto Rican, Mexican, Greek, Russian, Dominican, Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, Filipino, Korean, Arab, Middle Eastern. We are biracial and we are multicultural. We are bicentennial and we are new millennial. We are essential and we are frontline. We are everyday people and we are people every day. We are me too, we are me too, we are me too. We are Muslim, Christian, Hebrew too. We are Bible, Torah, Quran, atheist, agnostic, truer than true. We are rabbis and imams and preachers and Yoruba priests, tap dancing with Buddhists and Hindus and Rastafarians as the Nicholas brothers jump and jive and split the earth in half, while Chloe and Maud Arnold, them syncopated ladies, twist and shout and stomp and trump hate again, again, again. Yeah, still we rise, still we surprise, like we got Judith Jameson's crying solo in our eyes. Every hello ain't alone. Every goodbye ain't gone. We are every tongue, every nose, every skin, every color, every face mask. We are mattered lives painted black. We are mattered lives painted black. We are mattered lives painted black. We are every tattoo, every piercing, every drop of blood, every global flood. We are straight, queer, transgender, non-gender conforming. We are she, he, they. We are disabled, abled, poor, rich, big people, little people, in between people. We are protesters pepper sprayed with knees on our necks. We are protesters pepper sprayed with knees on our necks. We are protesters pepper sprayed with knees on our necks. We them people, we the people, we are those people who will survive these times because we done survived those times while pandemics were trail of tears and lynchings and holocausts, where pandemics where no hope and no vote and no freedom spoke. We them people, we the people, we are those people. While our planet gently weeps, we bob and bop like hip hop across the tender bones of those tear-stained photographs to hand to this generation, the next generation, those revelations, yeah, those blues sweet, yeah, that peaceful dance inside a raging tornado we call love.
And that was Kevin Powell. His book, When We Free the World, can be found on Two Leaf Press, so pick up your copy. Now, this is a heavyweight right here. Craig Mums Grant. He had already been big on the scene when I started at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe in 1996. He's a poet, a playwright, an accomplished actor. You may have seen him on HBO's Oz as the poet. He is the Nuyorican Poets Cafe Slam Team former member, and he can be now seen on CBS's Bull, HBO's High Maintenance, and the Starz Network, High Town. Ladies and gentlemen, performing Untitled Stress, Craig Mums Grant.
These motherfuckers think they're the kings of the jungle. Came to a claw fight with an arrow and a rifle, a whip and a Bible talking out the side of their mouth. To those that built they South, they North, they wealth. One day, a tree gonna punch them in the face. Bruise they face, dent that gold they stole, gleaming in their mouth. They gonna say it was me, but it wasn't me. It was that tree. That squirrel that got all the answers Kanye was looking for. What you looking for? What you waiting for? The new Meek Mill joint? You ain't see that elephant coming? You ain't know they cells got nooses? I'm writing this naked, laying next to my girlfriend, happy. But there's an elephant in the room. 'Cause we too hooked into they fibers, waiting on checks, tweeting, scrolling, marching, holding up signs, signing petitions, mad at all the rhetoric, and surprised at how much it resonates. Mad 'cause they ain't mad enough. Burnt at how turnt they got over a mask, over 3 letters. Maybe this the line crossed. Maybe this is the sign to say, hold on to the pole while the earth shifts on the track. And maybe we'll come out the back new, ninja style, stealth, sitting on wires next to birds listening to their plans. 'Cause that algorithm still pop them in the eye based on how I shift my weight. Hashtag 1619. Hashtag stress. Hashtag these rhymes matter.
Muchas gracias, Mums. Wasn't that dope? He's always been dope. So now our final performance and my final personal favorite, Helena D. Lewis. Helena D. Lewis is not only an award-winning actress, but she's also a social worker helping women inmates. Performing her piece, Social Working, ladies and gentlemen, Helena D. Lewis.
My place of employment has labeled me essential. I feel more sacrificial than respected. This essentialness has not been reflected in my paycheck. I was broke before the pandemic and I'm still broke. If I was to die today, my family could not cover the cost of my funeral. I'm the only breadwinner, the sole caretaker to a parent who is 92. Most days, I don't feel like getting out of bed, brushing my teeth, or taking a shower. I want to lie with the lights off and cry, but I force myself to put on a brave face and cover it up with a mask. I go to work. I sit in my car. I am overcome with anxiety. I pray to God to give me the strength to get out. See, I'm the person in charge. My job, take care of everyone but me. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I am a social worker. Social working in the pandemic. If I do not make it, please tell my story.
Thank you, Helena D. Lewis, for social working. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Digital Verse. Thank you to all the artists who contributed their work so generously. And thank you to our friends at the Greene Space, WNYC, and the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. And also thanks to all those people that have given donations to allow us to continue doing programming during this pandemic. We'll be back next month with our second installment of Digital Verse. And if you want to make sure not to miss it, subscribe to our newsletter by visiting thegreenspace.org or just text the letters TGS to the numbers 70101. And if you want to learn more about the Nuyorican Poets Cafe and the open mics that we do and all the other programming, just visit nuyorican.org. And I am your host, La Bruja. If you want to learn more about me, visit my website, caridadelaluz.com, or follow me on Instagram or Twitter at La Bruja NYC. That's La Bruja NYC for you non-Latinos. But come back, enjoy, do your thing. If you are in the closet and want to come out as a poet, it's never too soon and it's never too late, so don't debate or procrastinate. Just write it down like you just can't wait, because what you say just might be great. Peace.